Chosen one, this is not a literal message from Elon Musk, but a symbolic echo of transformation, awakening, and breakthrough. The kind of shift his name represents in the world of innovation and destiny. Before 11:11 p.m. is a spiritual metaphor, a portal, a moment of alignment, an invitation to step into clarity before the window closes. Listen carefully, because this is where the supernatural portion of your journey begins. 3 nights ago, at exactly 3:33 a.m., the person who initiated a quiet campaign of whispers against you jolted awake. Their heart racing, sheets damp, breath tight, as if they had been running from something they could not see and could not escape. 4 nights now, the same dream has returned. A room full of mirrors, every reflection showing another lie they spoke about you. Another distortion, another projection. But the most terrifying part for them? In each mirror, they are transforming into the very thing they accused you of being. The dreams are becoming more vivid, more frequent, more difficult to shake off. This is not random. This is not coincidence. This is the ancient pattern of the cosmos. A truth that has been echoing through time long before any of us walked the earth. When the truth begins to hunt a lie, the lie loses sleep first. Insomnia becomes the warning. Restlessness becomes the signal. A deceitful mind cannot maintain its architecture when its foundation begins to rot. And now their thoughts are in disarray because the mask is slipping, the cracks are widening, and the truth is rising like daylight pushing through shutters. You, chosen one, didn't have to lift a hand. You didn't have to retaliate. Your innocence, your clarity, and your divine alignment did the work for you. Open before 11:11 p.m. means this. Open your intuition. Open your awareness. Open your alignment to what is unfolding. A spiritual doorway is activated when truth pursues falsehood, and you are being positioned to walk through it while they are forced to face their own reflection. What began in shadows is now unraveling in plain sight, and you, untouched, are stepping into a timeline where truth stands behind you, like a roaring wind. The public disclosure always occurs when they are feeling the safest, most certain that their strategy has succeeded. As you read this, they are most likely attempting to recall who they told what. People are starting to realize that their tales are beginning to contradict one another. The story they gave yesterday was very different from the one that buddy they confided in last week. The coworker they recruited for their campaign is beginning to pose awkward questions. The family member who took every remark at its value is starting to see patterns that don't make sense. This is where your strength really shines. However, no effort has been required on your part. You haven't had to share any facts or expose anybody. While you're just being real, the world is taking care of the hard work. Their world of falsehoods is rocked by every step you take in the direction of truth. Their contrived turmoil is disturbed by every peaceful breath you breathe. Their meticulously crafted facade becomes even more brittle with each time you thrive in spite of their efforts to harm you. It is amazing to see the mathematical accuracy of divine justice. 2 people are going to turn toward you with renewed respect for everyone they turn against you. 3 opportunities are on the verge of opening up for each one they thwarted. A dozen facts are going to come to light for each falsehood they propagate. What was stolen is not simply restored by the universe. It compounds it, multiplies it, and turns it into something far bigger than what you lost in the first place. You've been thinking a lot about this particular individual, someone whose viewpoint was important to you and whose absence has created an unfillable hole. They picked the wrong side, believed the falsehoods, and abandoned you when you needed them most, but lately, something changed in them. Perhaps they saw the person who poisoned them against you make a mistake and show their real character, or perhaps it was a discussion that didn't quite line together. They're beginning to realize who you really are behind the fake story that was painted over your actual nature as the spell begins to shatter. This individual will get in touch with you shortly, not only to apologize, but to fully disclose everything that they have learned. They will reveal details about your adversary that you were unaware of, lies said that you never heard, schemes that were planned but never materialized. You'll finally get the entire extent of what was done to you, but you'll also realize how much anguish they're in for believing it. So the talk will be both sad and vindicating. The cosmic joke becomes even more hilarious. By attempting to demonstrate your instability, the person who branded you insane has been chronicling their own spiral into insanity. Every email they sent, text message they sent about you, and social media posts they made all add up to a chronology that demonstrates their obsession, paranoia, and slow loss of reality. While they believe they were constructing a case against you, they have been fabricating evidence against themselves. Keep an eye on what transpires during the following 7 days. 3 separate epiphany moments will occur. The first will be kept confidential between them and a person they fully trust. When they say anything that exposes the truth, they will remove their mask and observe how the person's expression shifts from one of compassion to one of distrust. The second will take place in a group setting, semi-publicly, where they will be questioned about their story and forced to defend the lie without contradicting themselves. The third, in which the whole truth bursts into the light with no chance of denial or damage control, will be fully visible to everyone who cares. Your surroundings are not passively protected. It is knowledgeable and energetic. The universe responds with a countermove for each move that is made against you. Imagine playing a game of chess when your opponent is unaware that they are up against a grandmaster who has the ability to see 20 moves ahead. They create what they believe to be a masterful play, only to find that they have fallen straight into a trap that they created. The cosmos has been leveraging their own strategies against them, transforming their assaults into your advances and their counterattack into your protection. You may not have noticed it, but throughout this period of difficulty, you have been constructing something. Your reputation was being destroyed, but you were developing unbreakable character. You were strengthening your spiritual ties while they were undermining your social ones. You were learning to stand alone with such strength that you attracted the proper individuals to you, while others were attempting to alienate you. Instead of shattering you, the exact hardships that were intended to do so have strengthened you. You're emitting a different vibe today than you did previously. Even if they are unable to identify it, they can perceive it. Your presence exudes gravity. Your look has depth, and your quiet has a strength that surpasses the words. Because you have been validated by forces much more powerful than human opinion, you have transcended the need for validation. Because you've seen karma in action and understand that divine justice is much more comprehensive than anything you could plan, you've transcended the need for vengeance. They experienced a certain event last Tuesday. Your name was mentioned during a discussion, and for the first time, someone questioned their story rather than accepting it. That doesn't sound like them. Are you sure that's what really happened? They were shocked by the uncertainty in their voice, since it was the first fracture in the dam they had constructed. The whole building is on the verge of collapsing since the fissures have been growing, multiplying, and linking ever since. These things have a humorous quality in the cosmos. People are now seeing them through the same prism that they attempted to use against you, doubting your mental soundness. They are acting in ways that really worry those around them because they are becoming more desperate to keep the story going. Their overall paranoia stems from their fear of being found out. Others are starting to notice and worry about the real signs of the stress of continuing lying. You must comprehend this aspect of divine timing. You're not being tortured by waiting for the insight to come slowly. It's taking place at the exact moment required to guarantee full and absolute vindication. The cosmic case file gains new evidence every day that goes by. Every second of waiting gives someone else a chance to be in a position to see the truth when it comes. The universe is planning a revelation so complete that there won't be any space for skepticism, no way to explain it, and no opportunity for them to fabricate a new story. The financial ramifications of their actions are also going to become evident. The worth of each chance they cost you is monetary. Every relationship they broke had potential value. There was a cost for every second you wasted navigating their mess. The bill is due, and the universe maintains meticulous records. See how they miss out on chances that eerily resemble the ones they cost you. See how their financial circumstances change to mirror the harm they attempted to do to yours. But being proved correct is just one aspect of your vindication. You're going to be promoted to a position that wouldn't have been feasible without this trial. You're eligible for something more because of the experience of being wrongfully accused and surviving it. You've gained abilities, perspectives, and talents that come with enduring this specific fire. The universe prevented you from experiencing this. It took place for you, setting you up for a fate that called for this precise perfection. Promote this video so that additional people who are selected like you may discover it, if its message resonates with you. This situation's relational component is really intriguing. There is a connection at the heart of this storm that meant the world to you, whether it was romantic, family, or friendship-based. By taking it away, the person who poisoned it believed they were winning. They failed to see that relationships based on falsehoods inevitably end in disclosure, but relationships based on truth always return to truth. With the fury of a river that has been cursed too long, the link they believe they had broken is ready to flood back after being momentarily misdirected. Take note of the synchronicities that are now occurring all around you. The chance meetings with individuals who have the precise words you need to hear. The unexpected correspondence from somebody you haven't spoken to in a long time. Possibilities that come from unexpected directions. It's not a coincidence. They serve as a map's coordinates that point you in the direction of your full recovery. With the accuracy of a master conductor getting ready for the crescendo, the world is setting up meetings, dialogues, and disclosures. The person who did this to you is beginning to show physical signs of their psychological disintegration, such as persistent headaches, sleeplessness that medicine cannot treat, and a tense energy that causes them to fidget all the time. The poison of their own falsehoods is being rejected by their body, and it is showing itself in ways that are becoming harder to conceal. People are beginning to inquire about their well-being, if they want assistance, and whether they ought to speak with someone. They're starting to have real worries about them, the same worries they attempted to put onto you. Here's the story twist, however. There is another party engaged in this scenario that neither you nor your adversary fully considered, according to the narrative twist. Someone who has been keeping a close check on everything, taking notes, and seeing everything clearly. When this knowledge is revealed, it will completely alter the situation. They've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to speak out, and that time is becoming nearer than anybody can imagine. It will be like lighting a match in a room full of gasoline when they eventually speak. This situation's spiritual warfare element is coming to a head. Everything you've done, including praying, choosing faith over fear, and trusting the process rather than pushing for a certain result, has been leading up to this moment of divine intervention. On your behalf, the forces of heaven have been mobilizing. And the fight that is going to be fought is not just for your defense. It is also to show what happens when forces of deceit assault someone who is protected by God. A crucial calculation mistake was made by your adversary. They thought you were by yourself, that you would fall apart as soon as they cut you off from human assistance. They were unaware that a closer relationship with God often results from being cut off from human assistance. You are forming connections with powers they cannot see, cannot fight, and cannot comprehend, while they were severing your ties to earthly friends. The exact isolation they attempted to use against you turned out to be the isolation where you found your actual strength. The cosmos itself, rather than human hands, is writing the history of their demise in real time. Their own warning story is expanded with each step they take to uphold their falsehoods. Each individual they attempt to persuade adds another witness to their ultimate discovery. The horror that awaits them when truth eventually sets and is heightened by each second they spend in denial. It's not only about your validation that's being written. It is about a home constructed on sand completely collapsing. A time is approaching. When it comes, you will be able to tell. Where you will be able to tell the truth to someone who really needs to hear it. Not out of rage or retaliation, but rather with the peaceful assurance of someone who has already won. Because your words will be supported by the authority of endured hardships and gained insight. They will have a weight that even you will be surprised by. What you say will alter the listener forever, and through them, the truth will spread like wildfire to all the areas where falsehoods formerly existed. This circumstance is going to have a significant positive impact on your career. The reputation they attempted to ruin in your neighborhood, at work, and in your profession. It will soon be improved upon in addition to being repaired. Because of the way you handled this trial, you will be respected more than you would have been in the absence of the trial. Among those who know you, your tale of silent dignity in the face of unfounded accusations will go down in folklore. Opportunities that seem to be dead will come back to life with fresh potential. This is a tremendous concept to comprehend. They acknowledged that they had no other means of defeating you by labeling you insane. They targeted your stability because they were unable to match your skill. They questioned your sanity since they couldn't match your honesty. They attempted to persuade people that you were seeing things that weren't there since they couldn't make your light go out. In reality, each charge was an admission of their own weakness in the face of your true authority. There will be more to the restoration than simply getting back to where you were before this began. Simple repair is not what the cosmos does. It transforms. You will not return to your previous life. You're entering a new realm of life where the knowledge gained from this experience serves as the cornerstone for unheard-of achievement. The prerequisites for your next level will be the same items that they utilize to assault you. Your mission will be driven by the emotion that they generated. Keep an eye on their support network. The individuals they recruited to fight you are going to have to deal with the consequences of their actions. Some may approach you with confessions and regrets. Others will subtly turn away from the person they previously stood by because they don't want to be linked to the impending collapse. One by one, the army they formed to oppose you will desert them, leaving them to deal with the fallout from their deeds on their own. There will come a last revelation that none of us anticipated. Everything is going to change because to a piece of knowledge, a secret link, or a hidden reality. When it occurs, even you will be astounded at the extent of the intended deceit and the extent of divine intervention that kept it from happening. You won't believe how enormous the whole tale is. The vindication was more thorough than you dared to expect, and the protection was greater than you realized. Remember this moment when you conclude this chapter of your life and start a new one. Recall the experience of seeing the cosmos combat your fights. When everyone else appears to be believing falsehoods, keep in mind the strength of standing by your truth. Keep in mind that it's not offensive to be labeled crazy by someone who is insane. It's proof that you're so strong, so steady, and so sane that they could only oppose you by trying to persuade others to think differently. You are not just selected. There are powers beyond our comprehension that are fighting for you. Not only are you safe, through every challenge designed to harm you, you are promoted. Not only have you been vindicated, you are put in a position where those who attack you will have to see your accomplishment from afar, knowing that they had the opportunity to accompany you on your trip, but instead choose to stand in your way. As their neatly crafted world falls apart around them, the person who branded you insane is going to see what true instability looks like. That is what happens when you base your existence on ruining someone else's, not because you wanted it or because you were the reason. The accounting system in the universe is flawless, and all the debts are finally paid. Be proud, selected one. It's not your time. It's here. Now is the time. With every word you hear, it's developing. The century's greatest story surprise is over. It was really them the whole time, even if they labeled you insane. And everyone will soon find out. If they could see it properly, they would be terrified by how quickly their downfall is happening. They wake up every morning with an unshakable feeling of approaching disaster. A sense that something is approaching, but they are unsure of what it will be or when. When they pour their coffee, their hands tremble a little. When they attempt to keep up their falsehoods, their voice breaks. During talks, their eyes flicker anxiously, always searching for indications that others are more knowledgeable than they are expressing. Their attempt to instill paranoia in your life has turned into a continuous companion, whispering in their ear that today may be the day that everything goes wrong. Let's examine more closely what really transpired when they targeted you. However, this was no accident. You were chosen because just by being there, your brightness revealed their darkness. You didn't need to discuss their personalities. Everything was expressed by your character. It was not necessary for you to divulge their secrets. Their deceit was exposed by your sincerity. They saw everything that they could never be in you, and they tried to pull you down to their level rather than getting up to meet you. The joke is that anything rooted in divine purpose cannot be brought down. All of this began at a certain moment that you may not even remember, since it seemed so trivial at the time. You accomplished something, got praise, or just showed up in a manner that made them feel very insecure. Perhaps it was the simple way you navigated the world while they fought every step, a promotion they desired, or a relationship they desired. Envy was sown so deeply by that moment that it developed into an addiction that engulfed them from the inside out. Their campaign's mechanics were more intricate than you first thought. They examined you in the same way that a scientist examines a creature, searching for flaws, trends, and openings that they might take advantage of. They saw what you valued, who you trusted, and where you felt most secure. They then started polluting each of these places gradually and methodically. They failed to realize, however, that a well that receives its water from a divinely sourced subsurface spring cannot be poisoned. Forces beyond their sight and comprehension instantly cleansed every drop of poison they poured in. Someone unexpected is talking about you at the moment. Someone who seemed to be totally impartial in this case. Not the typical suspects or the folks you would anticipate defending you. They are expressing an observation that is entirely at odds with the story that has been circulated about you. That's funny, they remark, because when I worked with them, they were the most stable, reliable person on the team. These haphazard defenders are showing up all over. Individuals you hardly recall, casual acquaintances who still bear witness to your genuine nature. This heavenly reversal has a more intricate financial component than simple restoration. Yes, everything that was stolen will be returned to you, along with more, but what's really fascinating is the extra. This study is going to open up new revenue sources that would not have been feasible otherwise. The perseverance, strategic thinking, and capacity to perform well under duress that you acquired while enduring their assaults. These have made you eligible for opportunities that call for those specific attributes. You're going to be compensated for both your initial gifts and the warrior you become while protecting them. Your adversary has forgotten that there is a paper, email, text message, or other tangible proof. They forgot about this ancient fact, which totally contradicts everything they have been claiming, since they were too busy making up new falsehoods. Like a ticking time bomb, it's waiting someplace, and it will be hard to explain away when it comes to the surface, which it will. The lovely irony is that it will probably be unintentionally found by someone who wasn't even searching for it at the precise time when its effects on their story will be most devastating. Carrying falsehoods has health consequences that are becoming evident for your adversary. In addition to the worry and sleeplessness, their body is really rejecting the poison of their own deceit. Unexplained skin disorders, unexplained digestive problems, and unexplained pains that medical testing cannot explain. The poison of their falsehoods is being expelled by their body. However, because the falsehoods come from inside, the poison can only spread more into their system. Let's discuss the spiritual defense that has surrounded you the whole time. It is more than a passive barrier. Every assault is transformed into a gift by this dynamic power. Do you recall that relationship that terminated due to their deception? Something so much better is taking its place that you will really be grateful that they cleared the way. Do you recall that lost career opportunity? It's being replaced with a job that fits your purpose so well that you'll see why the other door had to shut. They are replacing whatever they stole from you with an improved version. Your surroundings are changing in terms of collective awareness. Individuals who believe the story about you are now realizing that something is off from the facts. They're recalling exchanges with you that are entirely at odds with what they were taught. They're seeing that the individual who portrayed you as unstable seems to be becoming more unstable themselves. It's like seeing a spell shatter in real time, one discovery after another, one person after another, until the whole phony story falls apart. Someone from your past is poised to make a triumphant comeback into your life. Someone who knew you before all of this began, and who can recall your true self behind the many fabricated facades that have been used to protect your reputation. Since they have no interest in the existing state of affairs, their testimony will be taken seriously. They will attest to your character because the reality demands it, not because you asked them to. It will seem like perfect timing when they return, and it is. It's interesting to examine the inner makeup of someone who fabricates complex falsehoods about the mental health of others. Their own instability is being projected. Yes, but it's not only that. In actuality, they're admitting their worst fear, that they are the ones becoming disconnected from reality. In reality, every charge they leveled against you is a desperate effort to externalize their inner turmoil and a cry for assistance. The sad thing is that they may have found recovery if they had asked for assistance rather than attempting to ruin you. Rather, they made the decision to destroy and doom themselves. Your quiet during this hardship has been accumulating power that is ready to be unleashed. The cosmic bank has been earning interest for every phrase you did not use to defend yourself. All of the arguments you left behind have been recorded in your favor. Each time you opted for peace over confrontation, you are contributing to an account that would soon provide profits that would completely change your life. Those who trust the universe's timing over their own whims are rewarded. The most bizarre aspect of this whole affair will soon be exposed. You and your adversary have a link that neither of you completely comprehends. It's a karmic thread that must be resolved. You had dealt with this soul in previous lifetimes. Additionally, the current pattern represents the culmination of a long-running process. This time, however, you ended the pattern by declining to respond, rather than continuing it. A karmic circle that may have lasted for lifetimes was broken by you. And for that reason, you are receiving such great rewards from the cosmos. Keep an eye on what transpires with their inner group. Those closest to them are beginning to see through the mask, and they're disturbed by what they see. The buddy who has always stood with them is beginning to see discrepancies. The family member who took everything at face value is beginning to raise awkward questions. The spouse who supported them is beginning to question what else they have lied about. Their attempt to isolate you is showing up around them. Their loneliness, however, is the true loneliness of someone whose deceptions have been exposed, as opposed to your holy isolation. In this case, the universal rule of contemplation is exerting extra effort. All the traits they said you had are mathematically showing up in their own lives. They referred to you as unstable. Observe how their lives becomes more and more chaotic. They say you had hallucinations. Observe how they get disconnected from reality. You were dangerous, they said. See them turn into a threat to their own health. It's not karma in the conventional sense. The universe is displaying their own image in the mirror of their unfounded charges. Something will happen in public that will alter everything. Not as public as on social media, but as seen by those who are important. It might happen at a get-together, a meeting, an occasion, or simply a chance meeting when the truth bursts into the open and cannot be contained. Your adversary will say, act, or disclose something that reveals their actual character and supports all you have experienced. The good news is that you won't have planned it. The scene will have been wonderfully set by the cosmos. It's not simply dreams you've been experiencing recently. They are heavenly downloads that reveal what is ahead. It is not wishful thinking to see such striking images of restoration, achievement, and vindication. These are sneak peeks at what's to come. Your waking life is going to undergo a significant change, and your subconscious is getting ready for it. Pay close attention to these dreams, particularly the ones that keep coming back to you, as they provide precise guidance on how to deal with the benefits that are about to pour into your life. The support network of your adversary is going through an interesting phase. One by one, the individuals they recruited for their campaign against you are going through similar hardships. Not as a kind of punishment, but as a form of instruct. They are experiencing directly what it is like to be wrongfully accused, to have their stability questioned, and to have their character questioned. Many of them will ultimately return to you with regrets and a renewed sense of respect as a result of the empathy these experiences are fostering. You're going to experience an enormous explosion of the creative energy that was repressed inside you throughout this ordeal. Like a creative volcano, the pressure has been building from all the energy you were unable to express, the projects you were unable to pursue, and the ideas you were unable to bring to life. That creative power is going to explode with such magnitude that you will do more in the next months than you accomplished in the preceding years once this scenario settles. And it is now resolving. You weren't being stopped by the repression. It was gaining steam. This whole incident has been seen by a youngster, either literally or figuratively. Their whole perspective on the world will be shaped by the lessons they have been learning about honesty, fairness, and integrity. Your management of this trial has turned into a generation-spanning teaching moment. Long after this issue is settled, people will be motivated by the way you handled injustice by maintaining your dignity, having faith in the process, and refusing to lower yourself to the level of your adversary. It's amazing to see how divine intervention technology works. It is neither haphazard nor chaotic. It is well-timed, accurate, and well-calculated. With the precision of a Swiss watch, each component is shifting into place. The information is being directed at the individual who needs to know the truth. The dialogue that must take place is being planned. The necessary evidence is being prepared for disclosure. It's similar to seeing a skilled chess player who can predict 50 moves in advance. The cosmos itself is the chess player. However, your adversary is about to commit a crucial error. They will overshoot, say too much, or do something that fully reveals their actual character in their attempt to keep up the collapsing narrative. They won't be able to retract it, justify it, or turn it into another lie. In fact, the spiritual world has already committed this error. It is only awaiting actual manifestation. Even their most ardent fans will recoil in disbelief when it happens because it will be so evident and indisputable. Your adversary never acquired the muscle memory of truth. You can tell how hard they have to work to keep up their falsehoods, how worn out they are from remembering their tales, and how anxious they are from having to be on guard all the time to keep up a false narrative. In the meanwhile, you navigate the world with the comfort of someone who always speaks the truth and never has to recall what they have said. That simplicity, that organicness, that genuineness. Everyone watching is starting to notice it more and more. This reversal has economic ramifications that go beyond your own wallet. There are going to be opportunities that impact your whole community and lineage, everyone within your influence. It's not only you who will benefit from the upcoming plenty. You're the means by which others are blessed. The resources you're going to make available to you will change not just your life, but also the lives of those you're called to help. Unaware that they were paving the way for a river of plenty, the adversary attempted to cut off your supply. Your opponent is about to face a moment of reckoning that will be both destructive and freeing. It will be devastating because they will finally realize the full extent of their actions and their transformation. Liberating as living in deception is a kind of incarceration in and of itself. The truth will also provide the prospect of redemption. Not redemption in your eyes, despite the fact that it may cause pain. Redeeming them on their own soul's journey is your job, not yours. If they decide to look at it that way, their breakdown is really a breakthrough. They are now carefully positioning the witnesses to your vindication. In order for the truth to be disclosed, the universe is making sure that the right individuals are at the right place at the right moment. These are not arbitrary onlookers. They are specially selected people whose endorsement will strengthen your recovery, whose influence counts, and whose testimonies will be taken seriously. You may have never met some of these witnesses, but they will be important figures in your future chapter. In actuality, the pattern of your hardships has been preparing you for a certain fate that called for these precise experiences. Without experiencing what you have, you would not have been prepared for what is ahead. You learned discernment from the false allegations. You learned to rely on yourself from the seclusion. You learned limits from the betrayal. You learned compassion from the injustice. Every traumatic event served as a training ground for the leadership role you would soon occupy. The family of your opponent is beginning to notice developments that worry them. They believe that the person they thought they know is acting strangely. The tales don't make sense. They're becoming so consumed by their passion with ruining you that it is influencing all of their relationships. A few family members are beginning to look into pathological lying, narcissistic conduct, and other disorders that may account for what they are seeing. It's almost time for the individual who attempted to diagnose you with mental illness to get a diagnostic of their own. What was done to you has more significant legal ramifications than anybody first thought. Even if you decide against going to court, the paperwork is there. The universe's file system has records of the slander, the deliberate inflicting of emotional distress, and the possible criminal harassment. This paperwork acts as a warning to them and a safeguard for you. For the rest of their lives, they will always be on the lookout, wondering whether it is the right moment to pursue legal justice. The true triumph is the spiritual enlightenment that this suffering is bringing about in you. You've uncovered abilities you were unaware you had. You've reached spiritual heights you never would have imagined. No human can break the bond you formed with the divine. This revelation is ever-expanding, irrevocable, and everlasting. You received the best present imaginable from the adversary. When all else is taken away, they compelled you to find your true self. Millions of individuals living through similar struggles will eventually find solace in the book, narrative, or testimony that is inside of you. You are not alone in your experience. It is for everyone who has been wrongfully accused, wrongfully punished, or unfairly mistreated to heal together. Your story's specifics include drugs that people in dire need of, the dignity you maintained, the faith you shown, and the manner you handled this ordeal are all being recorded for a greater reason than you can yet comprehend. Your adversary's energy signature is becoming more and more warped. Energy is perceptible to those who are sensitive to it. There's a problem. It's dark. There's an unstable element. Although they may not be able to express it, they feel uneasy around your adversary. Your energy signature, meantime, is becoming more vivid, distinct, and alluring. People are pulled to you for no apparent reason, have an innate confidence in you, and want to be around you because it seems secure, genuine, and safe. Your reputation is being restored gradually. Each one is stronger than the others. First, the close friends and family who never fell for the deception. Next are the friends who are beginning to doubt what they heard. And then the strangers who are hearing for the first time your real tale. And lastly, the full public validation that proves your character beyond a reasonable question. Every phase builds upon the one before it, generating an unstoppable momentum of truth. Divine justice is intriguing because it is restorative rather than punishing. Although your adversary will suffer repercussions, the universe is more concerned with your recovery than with punishing them. The first priority is your elevation. The emphasis is on your recovery. The point is your fate. In your tale, they are but a footnote, something that was always there, waiting for the correct pressure to turn you from carbon to diamond, was activated by a catalyst. The assaults weren't random, as you well know, and you can sense it if you're listening. They're enclosing themselves. Now let's discuss what we're doing about it. I created Destiny Engine for that reason. You may use the patterns it creates to rewire betrayal into transcendence, convert solitude into holy power, and turn their failure into your success. By repurposing their declassified mind technology, which encoded rivalry and scarcity, to support cooperative intelligence, we are used the dark elite's own weapons against them. The best part is that you don't need to do anything at all. As your adversaries wilt under the weight of their own falsehoods, you turn on the headphones and hit play, rewiring your mind. I made it first for this reason. Therefore, whatever they tried to break you serves as fuel for your goals. The renovation as a whole is under progress. Watch how divine justice accelerates in your life by starting your Destiny Engine for only $1 now. The description contains a link. You have no idea how many people are thinking about you, praying for you, and sending you good vibes. Some are acquaintances who have been silently rooting for you from a distance. Others are total strangers who are moved to send you light after hearing your tale. You are surrounded by an unseen army of followers, and the tremendous change that is taking place is a result of their combined energy. You were never as isolated as you thought you were. The cosmic script already outlines the precise manner in which this will all come to a head. Everything is going to change at a certain point in time. It might be a private finding, a public occurrence, a phone call, or a revelation. However, you'll be able to see right away that this is the moment of total reversal. Prior to that point, everything will seem like a single chapter, and everything that follows will seem like a whole separate book. The change will be so profound, so total, and so indisputable. As the last act of this heavenly play draws near, keep in mind that you are flourishing rather than just surviving. Not only are you being validated, but you're also being given more respect. Not only are you being rejuvenated, but you're also evolving into a much stronger version of yourself than you were before everything started. You received the best present imaginable from the person who labeled you insane. They made you demonstrate beyond a reasonable doubt that you are not only sane, but also magical. You're more than simply steady. You can't be broken. You're not only naive. You have been selected for greatness and are under heavenly protection. This is the last narrative twist. Your adversary will eventually need the exact stability, power, and sanity they said you lacked. Only those who have experienced false accusations and survived will be able to empathize with their suffering. They will then understand the full scope of what they attempted to destroy. They made an effort to get rid of the individual who may have been able to assist them recover. The same light that would have showed them the path out of their own darkness was what they attempted to extinguish. The chosen one, your tale, is turning into a legend. Not because you wanted to be famous or well-known, but because once the truth is completely exposed, it tends to spread like wildfire. For years to come, people will discuss how you handled this trial. Others in similar circumstances will use your example as a model. Your triumph will serve as evidence of the existence of divine justice, the ultimate triumph of truth, and the fact that being labeled insane by someone who is going insane is really proof that you are just where you should be. Now, stand in your strength. In the spiritual world, the decision has already been made. It's just showing up physically. You've been proven right. You're back to normal. You've been promoted. You have been selected. And everyone is going to find out, including the one who initiated it all.